Now, there's a major jobs fair coming to Galway just after Christmas, and I'm joined by Breda Murphy, who joins me from Craig Recruitment. Breda, did you just get a cough when you came in, did you?
I did, yeah. Thanks very much for having me,
That's
Keith.
the effect that we have on you in here.
It's the nervous effect, I think.
Don't be nervous at all. I'll leave you here. I'll just make a cup of tea and I'll come back, then you can take over. You are having a major event here just after Christmas, and what you're trying to do from Craig Recruitment is try and get people who are home for Christmas to look at coming back.
Absolutely, yeah. We, so as you said, my name is Breda Murphy. I'm from Craig Recruitment. We're based in Briar Hill Business Park in Galway, and what we have is we partner with a number of multinational companies here in Galway, primarily mostly engineering. So one of the companies that's going to be there on the day on the recruitment is Boston Scientific. So they have a number of open positions that they're recruiting for at the moment, both engineering, IT, sales, customer service. So there's a number of permanent positions and also contract positions.
So do you have a fairly large vacancy book list then?
Absolutely. We have loads of jobs open at the moment in Galway, and we would encourage people to come to this open day. So what we find is an awful lot of people are saying to us that they're sending on their CVs to companies and they're not hearing anything back. So what we find is sometimes it's something wrong with the CV, or sometimes it might be that they're sending us the wrong people, or they're looking for the wrong type of job. And often, if you don't have the right skills, you're not going to be matched the correct area. So what we would say is we would encourage people to come to Craig Recruitment. Our open day is in the Connacht Hotel next Thursday, the 28th of December. It's on from 11 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock, and we would encourage people to come and maybe talk to our senior consultants that are going to be there on the day, and you get one-to-one access of all the jobs that are going to be there. Boston Scientific are also going to be there. They're going to be promoting their own jobs. Then we're going to have Finero, which is a tax consultancy program. They're going to be accountants. They're going to be there speaking to you about your tax and what implications it's going to have. Like when you move back home, you know there might be various different people in your family that want to come back, and there's loads of other questions. It's not just about the job.
Yeah. So what you have is you have the one fix for all on the 28th.
Absolutely.
So you can meet the potential employer.
Yeah.
You can have your CV tweaked, but you can also find the tax implications if you've been out of the country for a while.
Absolutely.
If you can't get college fees for kids, or you have to go on emergency tax, you're saying that will all be there for
everything. Will be there. Yeah, it'll be a one-stop shop. So that's what we want. We want to encourage people that are home for Christmas, or even encourage people that are here in Galway and thinking about change and jobs and only have kind of time, maybe wanted to pop in for 20 minutes or 10 minutes and just meet us and just talk through their CV and find out how they can, I suppose, get a role within different industries. So we'd have a number of open positions on our website on craigrecruitment.ie, and we'd have also a number of jobs with us on the day that we'd be able to talk to people.
And I mean, are you talking about decent salary scales now?
Absolutely, yeah. So oftentimes people come in as a technician, so as a technician you can get anything from 30 to 35,000. As an engineer you can get anything from 40 to 60,000 depending on your experience. And as an operations manager you could get anything from 60,000 upwards, and then as a plant manager you can go 100,000 plus. Okay. So it really depends on your experience. And what we find is often people that would have left the country in the last couple of years, be it like gone to Australia or Canada, and might have worked in construction or various different industries, and might want to return to Galway and find that the majority of industry they're recruiting are medical devices, and find it very hard then to get into that industry. We will match your skills. So oftentimes people might have worked as a project manager, or maybe an electrician, or various different industries. We will match your skills into that industry. So that's our job as recruitment consultants.
So I suppose when you say the CV and that, I suppose if you're the HR manager, say in the Boston Scientific or the Medtronics, and the last thing you really want, Porrick Murphy and those want, is to have a plethora of CVs coming in, so they would put them through Craig Recruitment like you would tell.
Absolutely.
So then you can say, okay, this guy made a dog's dinner of putting a CV together.
Yeah.
So let's leave him and write out to him. So it shortens the process then.
Absolutely. So
if you get through the Craig Recruitment process, then you're kind of
you're nearly on your way. To be honest,
nearly on your way. Yeah.
We would partner very closely with the company. So So anytime that we send a CV, almost all the hiring managers and the HR consultants would know that we have screened that person. So oftentimes, nearly all the time, we would meet, like here at Craig Recruitment, we would meet all the candidates that we would put through. So we would meet them and screen them and give them a competency-based interview or a technical-based interview, depending on what the role is. And then once they go forward. So sometimes people haven't done a CV for 20 years or maybe never have done a CV before, and I would start with them on a blank piece of paper and just, go down through and find out exactly what they've done. So it's often a career advice as well we'd give on the day. So we'd encourage people to come along, anyone that's looking for a job, really.
Can you ask Breda, are any of them jobs for production?
Some of them are production. A lot of them, like in production, it's manufacturing. So it's manufacturing technicians and engineers primarily. Production operators, we have a number of vacancies coming up maybe in January, February. So yeah, absolutely, come along on the day. We've no problem.
All right, somebody else said no, and it wasn't Craig Recruitment, I have to say. Keith, I attended an interview last week and I was shocked and quite frankly horrified to be asked to spend almost 50% of the interview talking about my childhood and early life. I'm 51 for God's sake, and I can hardly remember last year, never mind 45 years plus ago. It was almost like a psychological profiling, and I walked out disgusted. Would that be the norm? Would it be?
No, absolutely not. The norm would be a competency-based interview. So normally what tends to happen in an interview situation, they normally ask you about, tell me about your background, maybe from your education up, or your education and your present position. And then they might ask you, like, very little about your childhood. They can't really, or family. Do you know what I mean? Like, they can put it in a way of how many hours can you work and stuff like that per week, but they can't really ask.
Talking about your childhood for 50% of the time.
That's brutal. Unless the situation was, they might have known them from their background. You know what I mean? But you're not supposed to ask that, and that's very disheartening. Ask that person even to contact me. Like, I've no problem. My number is 091 700 814. Or my mobile number is 086 026 2157. Hopefully I can help them.
You're going to be busy now,
I know I'm going to be very busy.
Why
but
would
that's
you give
what
out your mobile number? 086 026 2157 or 700 814. If you wanted to give Breda a call, you can do so afterwards. Unless they go and work with children and they want to, how do they? No,
and even at that they wouldn't, because nobody asks you about your family now. You can't, because it's discrimination.
Really?
So, yeah, it's on the 9 grounds. So you can't ask about family or
What other grounds? Yeah, come on, tell me.
So,
what other grounds are there if you can't ask about family?
So race, family status. You can't discriminate.
Are you married?
Yeah, you can't ask some of that. No.
Okay, family status would be. How many have you in family?
Yeah, family status, or are you married,
pregnant?
or are you pregnant, or
can't ask
that. Absolutely. And there was a situation actually a couple of years ago in a company in Galway, and the HR manager was there and the hiring manager was there, and he didn't have much experience with interviews, and he said to the lady that was interviewing, so when did you get married? And she said, I got married last December. And he said, are you thinking of having some children? And she got a shock, and she said, well, I'll have to go home and ask my husband that, But you cannot ask that, because you can be brought to court for that. Really? That's pure discrimination, yeah.
I can understand it.
Yeah.
So there are 9 do's and don'ts.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, maybe whoever did the interview for this person who walked out disgusted, maybe they should just read the 9 do's and don'ts for interviews. So again, just let's recap. The Connacht Hotel, 28th of December, which is tomorrow
Thursday.
week. Yeah, so it's the Thursday after Christmas.
Thursday after Christmas, yeah.
11 o'clock until 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
Is it free?
It's free, yeah. Everyone's welcome.
And in the meantime, if you want to talk to Breda or any of your colleagues, 700 814 for further details there, or 086 026 2157 as well. And please don't ring on Christmas Day if you don't mind, please.
I don't mind. I'd answer it all the time. But like, a lot of people do have transferable skills and can get into industry. And like, you might have people coming home for Christmas that want to stay home, and and this is the ideal opportunity. And often people send their CVs, like I said, and don't get a response. And like, we'll be there on the day. We can talk you through the jobs. Like I say, Boston Scientific are going to be there on the day. They can talk you through all their open positions that they have on, and like, we'd be happy to help.
Good stuff. Well done. Thanks for joining us today. Are you the only one having a jobs fair around this time?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you just like to work, that's all.
Yeah, we were workaholics.
Yeah, we obviously are going out on the 28th. Listen, well done to you. Further details can be had from Craig Recruitment. If you want to just CREGG Recruitment, just to Google it from there. Or you can ring Breda directly, 700 814 or 086 026 2157. Breda, have a good and safe Christmas. You're going to be busy now.
Keith.
When you give out your mobile number like that, you're going to be busy.
Thank you very much.